Have you ever wondered how the sweet treats we love today, known as candy, came into existence? The tale of candy begins with the ancient civilizations, thousands of years ago. The first candies were made by people in India and the Middle East, who ingeniously used honey, a natural sweetener, to preserve fruits and flowers. This not only extended the shelf life of their food, but also added a delightful sweetness that was loved by children and adults alike. But the real game changer in the world of sweets came with the discovery of sugar. This discovery is credited to the New Guineans, who found out that the sugarcane plant, when harvested and processed, produced sweet crystalline grains. This sugar was a revelation, and its popularity spread like wildfire, reaching the corners of Asia and Europe. The introduction of sugar marked a pivotal point in the history of candy. As sugar became more accessible, the production of candy started to transform. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, candy had a significant evolution. During this period, candy was not just a sweet treat, but was primarily used for medicinal purposes. It was a common practice for physicians to coat bitter medicines with sugar to make them more palatable for patients. Meanwhile, the creation of hard candy was underway in Europe and the Middle East. These candies were often made by boiling sugar in water, creating a sweet syrup that hardened as it cooled. It was a painstaking process, requiring careful temperature control and a keen eye for consistency. However, sugar was not a common household item. It was considered a luxury, available only to the affluent. This made candies a symbol of wealth and status during the Middle Ages. But as time passed and technology advanced, sugar became more accessible, leading to a wider production and consumption of candy. As we moved into the modern era, candy began to take on a more familiar form. The Industrial Revolution brought about a sweet explosion in the candy world. As the wheels of progress turned, an era of change and innovation was also churning out a confectionery revolution. The invention of candy-making machines marked a milestone. Suddenly, sweets were not just for the privileged few, but for everyone. These machines allowed for the creation of some of the first candy bars. Yes, the very concept of a candy bar was born out of this period of rapid industrialization. Picture this: factories humming with activity, producing sweets on a scale never seen before. But the real sugar rush came when candy became more affordable and accessible to the general public. No longer a luxury item, it was now a treat within everyone's reach. This was the sweet democratization that the Industrial Revolution brought about. The candy we know and love today was starting to take shape. This was the era that gave us the candy explosion we're still enjoying today. In the 20th century, the candy industry boomed. A sweet explosion of innovation led to the creation of some of the world's most loved candies. Brands like Mars, Hershey's, and Nestlé took center stage, introducing iconic candies that became household names. Imagine a world without M and M's, those colorful button-shaped chocolates that melt in your mouth, not in your hand. Or picture Halloween without Snickers bars, a perfect blend of nougat, caramel, and peanuts enrobed in milk chocolate. And then there are jelly beans, those small bean-shaped sugar candies with soft candy shells and gel interiors. These candies did not just satisfy our sweet tooth, they also found their way into pop culture. Movies, songs, and literature began to reference these sugary treats, further cementing their status. Halloween, a holiday already associated with sweets, was forever changed as trick-or-treating became synonymous with candy collection. Today, candy is a billion-dollar industry that continues to evolve. The 20th century may have been the golden age of candy, but the future is still full of sweet possibilities. From ancient honey sweets to today's diverse range of confections, the journey of candy is a fascinating one. Let's take a moment to reflect on this sugary voyage. Once upon a time, candy was a precious commodity, a luxury only the wealthy could afford. It began with the simple act of preserving fruits and flowers in honey, a method that evolved into an art form in the Middle Ages. With the Industrial Revolution, candy production exploded, transforming from an artisan craft into a mass-produced delight. The 20th century brought even more innovation, with new flavors, shapes and sizes popping up like never before. And what about the future? Well, it looks just as sweet. Today, we see a trend towards healthier options, with candies made from natural ingredients and lower sugar contents. We're also witnessing a burst of creativity in flavor combinations, making each bite a unique experience. Who knew that the simple act of preserving fruits and flowers in honey could lead to the sweet sensation that is candy today?